What's up guys, Highland Archer back with another video, multiplayer match review of Warhammer 2. This week we've got the Wood Elves versus Norsca, two factions that I am absolutely obsessed with, two of my favorites. And this week of course we're doing a build that's atypical, if you will. And so for the Wood Elves we're not bringing Way Watchers, which would be super nice, facing two of the deadliest single entities in the entire game. We've got Wulfrik on a mammoth, scary as is, and then we've got Soul Crusher, which is, well, soul crushing. They've also got Marauder Champion, shielded and armored. For Wood Elves, we got Treekin, and those don't do a ton. They don't do a ton of damage, and so we'll see if the Wood Elves can pull this out. Now, I did bring the ROR Wild Riders. Those guys are anti-large. I brought them in case of Skin Wolves, which you'll notice my opponent did not bring. But he did bring 3 Skirmishers, which I don't have anything to counter at all. So we will see if the Wood Elves can pull this one out. Alright, so to start off, we've got our Waystalker taking pot shots at these Marauder Horsemen. I think I've said that in every video now, but I'm pretty fond of that one. These are the 3 skirmishes. You'll notice I don't have any counter for, so we're just going to shoot an arrow Kurnos, take off a nice little chunk of Wulfrik, and pray that this all goes well. Noticing that I'm going to lose the skirmish battle, which never happens, I figure, alright, let's just go in, which is kind of a bad idea because these guys don't have a great charge bonus. These guys have an okay charge bonus. It'd be a lot better if my Eternal Guard were braced, which they won't be, and so they're going to take a pretty hefty little charge bonus here. That's not ideal. To give you an overview, not a great target for Wild Riders. There's no Skin Wolves to hit. These guys over here did take out some Norscan Ice Wolves, which is a big help, but also left them very vulnerable to 3 skirmishers. They are shielded, which is nice, but over time those skirmishers will definitely do some damage. In the middle we have Soul Crusher doing what he does best and crushing my soul. He'll route Eternal Guard. He doesn't care about armor piercing, anti-large. He'll just run right through it. But we did get a Manticore off, and that Firecaster right there is pretty unprotected, so the Manticore is going to have a great time. About as good of his time as these Warhounds are doing routing my units. So those Eternal Guard are not going to last. Now I do have Low X Tricksters, great anti-large. Going to try and get in there with Soul Crusher. They will be blocked by the Warhounds. In the back, these Skirmishers are doing exactly what they do best. And all that damage right there, that's just from them. And with pretty much no kills to show for it. Now in here, we have Wulfrik going toe-to-toe with Durthu. Wulfrik is armor piercing, and so despite the 110 armor, Wulfrik is not going to win that fight. Luckily, the Firecaster has been absolutely destroyed. Nothing back there to protect him, and so he will be gone. My opponent will lose all their magic for pretty much this entire game. On the right hand side we have Treekin, and the thing about Treekin is Treekin don't care about anything. Even this boat that's about to wreck my entire... Yep, goodbye. Treekin don't care. They don't care. I could do an entire video on how cool Treekin are. Sucks they don't get more use, but that's a topic for another time. In the middle, Wulfrik and Durthu doing okay. Wild Riders came in and knocked off those Marauders. And so here we have Low X Tricksters holding 2 units of Marauders, 1 Champion, 1 Marauder, and Warhounds. And then on the left side, Soul Crusher, completely untouched, is just demolishing these Treekin. And as I said before, 3 Skirmishers, again, pretty much untouched. Now in the back, again, the secret weapon I always harp on, Waystalker, been taking pot shots at Wulfrik. Wulfrik would probably be crushing Durthu right now, but he's been losing HP consistently with no idea where that's coming from, because the Waystalker is invisible right now. So very, very helpful. On the side here, Wild Riders smashing in the back of those Champions, which will give them a fear route. So that's very, very helpful. Unfortunately, still full health on Soul Crusher and Skirmishers. They're just going to be able to pick my entire army apart. Durthu already down to half, Wulfrik down to half. Now these Treekin on Wulfrik aren't going to do hardly anything. They're very low damage output. They're pretty much just there to hold Wulfrik in place. Soul Crusher doing what it does best. Low X Tricksters did a great job of holding the line, but they're down to 30%. Not great, but look over here. We got a Sword of Daith on those Skirmishers, which does a fair amount of damage. And these Wild Riders, don't forget, they cause fear. So those guys low on health, when these fear-causing units come in, will actually, without actually needing to catch them, will rout them, which is huge. That's huge. So now, unfortunately, Norsca is pretty heavily in the balance of power in favor. Arrow of Carnage will miss there, naturally. We will have the Waystalker keep taking shots at Wulfrik, but right now we have Soul Crusher with, I mean, what is that? 525 armor-piercing weapon strength trying to take on Durthu while he's also taking shots from these skirmishers. Not looking good. We will get off one Manticore summon, the last Manticore, which will take on Wulfrik. Now Wulfrik will not like being charged in the back. Doesn't matter if it's a tiny Manticore. It still hurts his leadership. Now he's down to about 20%. And you'll see his leadership just melting away. Durthu is losing to Soul Crusher as is expected. And the Wild Riders are going to do their best just to clean up some chaff here. We've pretty much routed off everything else. The Warhounds are going to try and take down the Waystalker. That's not going to go so great for these little Warhounds. So Waystalker will get back in it in just a minute. But right now, I mean, we have an almost dead Durthu, an almost dead Wulfrik, a Manticore that's about to expire. These Treekin don't care. They're doing their thing. It ain't much, but they're doing their best. And right here is a saving grace. The Wild Hunters are anti-large. They still have 35 models somehow. And they're going to come in on this, well, rather large target. And just try and put the hurt down. It's the last saving grace that the Wood Elves have right now. Durthu's going to continue taking shots from these skirmishers. But look at this. Wulfrik has been successfully routed by this Manticore. All it took was one unit. Those Treekin weren't doing anything. They're just there to hold. And the Manticore actually pushed him off. Now here's one thing I don't understand. Why these guys aren't skirmishing. I get that they're out of ammo. But it lets Durthu come over here and just absolutely start wrecking models off. Just swatting them like flies. I could watch that all day. Unfortunately, over here, we got other things to watch for. Those Wild Riders did take down Soul Crusher. Their anti-large actually pushed him off. Now he's not dead. He's going to have to be chased off. And now we have 3 targets to chase off. We have Soul Crusher, some skirmishers, or the General. And I chose to go after Wulfrik to try and chase him off. Unfortunately, these guys aren't actually routing, which I thought they were. So they're going to be shooting the Wild Riders. This whole time they're going to chase off Wulfrik, and then he rallies. And watch how sad this is. We've got 14 anti-large Wild Riders going to take down the mammoth, and then... Oh no. Well, nothing to say about that. Moving on, we've got an almost dead Durthu and a Soul Crusher that's coming back. Waystalker is out of ammo. Treekin still don't care, doing their best. Durthu is going to get off a Wissen's Wild form on himself. That'll bump him up to 140 armor, 515 health. Unfortunately, Soul Crusher doesn't care. He's bigger, stronger, but what he does care about is spears poking him in the side. He isn't going to like that very much. And so now, we have a routing Soul Crusher, an almost dead and routing Durthu. We have a routing anti-large ROR. We have a routing Wulfrik. We will see who is able to pull this out. And it will be, somehow, against all odds, it will be the Wood Elves. I would consider that, honestly, pure luck. Pure luck based on leadership. You know, Durthu didn't do too bad, almost 100 kills. I can't complain about that. That Sword of Daith plus the Overcast Flock of Doom. Remember, Sword of Daith lowers armor and Flock of Doom goes off of armor. So if you put it on a blob, you know, Durthu doesn't really need support. He's very, very strong. If you put Sword of Daith on a blob and then put Overcast Flock of Doom, the Overcast Flock of Doom is going to last for longer and does way more damage off the lowered armor. Sword of Daith also doing armor will melt pretty much anything. Wild Riders, 103 kills. Well, the ROR, the Hunters of Kurnos, 103 kills, were instrumental in taking down Soul Crusher, even though they got absolutely destroyed at the end. And then Loix Tricksters, I think, were the hidden gem here. But truly, that was just luck. I did not bring a good army, but I thought you guys would enjoy because it's a pretty interesting replay. So thanks again, and we'll see you next time.